Good morning. I am absolutely so delighted that I get to talk with you during the Christmas season. Christmas is my favorite time of year. I love everything about it. I love getting out Christmas decorations that I've seen since I was a little girl growing up. I love, the snow when it's gently falling and I get to sit inside by the fire. And I love, getting together with family and friends, and I love exchanging presents and trying to figure out the right and perfect thing to get for each particular person in my life. It's just a wonderful time for me. And so I'm just so excited that I get to be here today with you and share a Christmas gift with you. How many of you in your lives at this particular time of year, you kind of take a step back and you look at what's gone on in the last year and you say, you know what, 2013, doggone it, it was a good year. Or, 2013, it was kind of dicey there for a little bit, but, next year I'd like to do this instead. Right? Do you ever do that? Or make New Year's resolutions, don't we? 2014, doggone it, I'm going to do this because I've always wanted to. Who in here does that kind of stuff? Okay, good. So let's talk specifically about these two directions that we go in our mind. Goal setting. We do goal setting, right? How many of you at work, you've ever, you've been part of the strategic plan for the 5-year vision of the, carrying the thing out, right? Okay, yes. Right on. Yeah, we do that. And it's helpful in our lives to get that done, right? Okay. How many of you do that kind of thing in your personal life? Anybody in here ever made a goal poster before? Mm-hmm. I've made several different goal posters in my life. I made one goal poster to manifest my husband. Pardon me? Who said that? Yeah. I made a goal poster to manifest my 2 kids. Made goal posters for each one of them. Mm-hmm. It works, right? It works. Right? Right. Oh, okay. Yeah, it does. And it works because there's a principle involved here. And the principle says that if you do not have vision, you will perish. Right? That's a principle. It's a guiding aspect in our scriptures. We learn that. And so we have to be able to put that vision into place. And so we do that through that goal setting process. Now, how many of you, on the flip side with things that have already passed, anybody in here ever do like a review of sorts? Sometimes we do this at work, like our employee review or our salary review. We might be giving those things to somebody on our team, or we might be receiving that from our boss. Okay? In your own personal life, have you ever done that kind of thing? I was sharing with the group earlier today that I'm a knitter. I like to knit. And my husband, he laughs at me every year because we heat our house with wood. So he starts stoking the fire and getting the wood-burning stove cooking in the living room, and out come my knitting needles. It's just that they go together, fire and knit. I don't know why, right? And so I'll be sitting on the couch and I'll make something and I'm kind of looking at it going, it's not quite working the way I thought. And I'll just tear it all out and start again. I don't know how to read patterns, so I don't typically follow patterns. I just kind of see a picture of something, I start working on it. It didn't work, and I'll take it. Maybe next time I'll try this number of stitches, and I go and I redo it. You with me? Anybody in here ever do that kind of thing? You review something that's gone. Next time I do it, I'd like it to be different. Is that helpful? Yeah, it's helpful. It's a helpful activity for us to do. And so we know these truths that looking to our future and planning and visioning and getting some concrete ideas under that is very helpful for us. We also know that looking at our past and looking at it with things that we appreciate or things that we might want to redo because we need a little bit of healing on something there, we know that that's beneficial as well. Okay, so let's take these two ideas and just for a moment set them on their respective shelves. And I want to talk with you about what's in between them, and that's the present moment. The present moment. The present. Our gift. How many of you have ever heard this thought that there is no past, there is no present, or excuse me, there is no past, there is no future, there is only this present moment right now? How many people have ever heard that before? Mm-hmm. Do you believe that? Now you have just got done telling me that you believe that planning for your future is a beneficial activity. You folks have just got done telling me that looking at your past and doing the healing that might need to take place or the redo or whatever it is, how big or small, that is helpful. And then you sat right here and you told me that there is no time but the present. We kind of have a little bit of a dichotomy here. We need to figure out how to rectify this morning, don't we? All right, so let's talk about how to do that. What I would propose to you is a 3-step process. Anytime this season that you are looking back at 2013, anytime this season when you are looking ahead to the new year, I'm going to invite you to engage a 3-step process. All right, so first of all, let's talk about healing our past. First thing I want you to do, if there's something that happened earlier in your life and you're not quite at peace with it, see, because that's your cue that you need to do that. You're not at peace with that thing that happened, so you know you need to do something. First step in the process of healing the past is you have to ground yourself right here and right now. You have to know the truth of your being. You have to know your oneness with the divine. You have to know that this life that you are living, you have purpose here. You have to ground yourself in that truth. So that's step number 1. Now, once you are in that place of stillness and knowing, and you get it, it's at that moment that I'm going to invite you to go on to step number 2. And step number 2 is to recall that event, recall that circumstance from your past. And I want you to bring who you are right now in your present into your recollection of that past circumstance or event. You are the divine right now as you think about that, because you know what? You were the divine back then. Bring that truth of who you are back here. Now, you'll know whether or not you have done that well when you go on to step 3. And step 3 is you check your emotions. You just do a little self kind of guidance thing here. And when you're recalling that past event now, how do you feel? Do you feel gratitude? Do you feel appreciation? If you feel feelings like that, you'll know that you have successfully brought who you are into that past event. You will have stretched the present moment, expanded it. And it is when you do that that the healing of this past occurs. Now, when you do that check of your emotions in step number 3, as you're recalling this past event, you might be aware that you have anger. You might be aware that you have resentment or guilt or shame or all kinds of just not fun stuff going on in you. And if you become aware that you are no longer remembering your true divinity, then you just set these things on the shelf and you walk back here to the present moment, and you remind yourself of who you are. And once you remember, oh yes, this is the truth of my being, then you come back and you look at that again. And you do this as often as you need to, for as long as it takes, till you remember your truth as you remember these events. That is how you heal. That is how you heal. So let's talk about how we do goal setting. It's exactly the same process. Step number 1, before you make any New Year's resolution, step number 1 is you ground yourself in your truth. Who are you, really? You get to know that at the very core of your being. Let that fill your heart. Let that fill your mind. And then start getting those creative juices out. What would I like to do in this coming year? How would I like to, things to experience or ways of being? It doesn't matter. And then bring the truth of who you are as you're visioning this new event, this new goal that you have. Okay? And then you will do a check. You will check in with your emotions. And you will see that you're feeling joy. You're feeling excitement. You're looking forward to that event occurring. Now, when you do that check-in with your emotions, if you find that you're feeling anything else, fear, nervousness, anxiety, doubt, you find yourself feeling any of that non-fun stuff, right? Then I want you to just set that future stuff on the shelf over here, and I want you to come back and I want you to ground yourself again in this moment. Remember who you are. And then once you do, then you come back over here and you pick it up again. Because it is in remembering those two things at the same time, remembering the truth of who you are and how you want to be that in your future, folks, that is the act of co-creation. Right? That is how we stretch this present moment into the future with all of the best that the present has. Okay, Diana, these are some really nice, lovely ideas. Thank you so much for sharing this morning. But let's talk about the real world, shall we? Okay, then let's do that, shall we? So I want to take you back to, let me see, I married my husband in 1992. And so this was probably sometime in 1993. My first year of marriage, I would love to say that it was like a honeymoon that never ended, but it wasn't. Okay, that's just the facts. It was a year I would not wish on my worst enemy. It was just bad. While the two of us with very large egos tried to figure out how to be in this harmonious relationship together. You may not have had that, and I hope you haven't. But that was our first year. And so we were having one of those days. Anybody in here married? Or have you ever been married? Okay. Do you know what I'm talking about when I say it was one of those days? My husband left for work in the morning and I kissed him goodbye. And off he went. And after he left, I thought, you know what, Diana, this ain't right. This is not the way for you to be with your partner. And so I had some time with myself all day long. Yes, I was, doing all of the stuff of life. Figuring out what to make for dinner and doing the laundry and all that kind of thing. All day long, I was contemplating how I wanted to be with my husband when he came home. So truly, I'm walking around the bedroom and I'm, picking up stuff for in the laundry. And I'm carrying it down 2 flights of steps. And I put it in the washing machine. And I'm the whole time thinking how I would rather be with my husband. I'm taking the stuff and putting it in the dryer, taking the stuff out of the dryer, carrying it back upstairs, and I'm dumping it on the bed, and I'm folding all of our stuff, and I'm putting it away. And the whole time I am imagining my husband's joy and bliss when he sees all that I have done for him that day. You know what's coming. Right? So my husband, he came home from work as typical, and he headed to the shower to, clean up after work. And then after the shower, he obviously heads to the bedroom to get some clothes on. Well, I had envisioned a very wonderful thank you from him. So I had placed myself strategically by the dresser so that he can shower me with his husbandly gratitude. Okay. And it was at that moment that he opened up his dresser drawer to get out a pair of underwear. And I was waiting. And my husband looked at me and he said, "You didn't fold it right." That wasn't what I had envisioned. But there it was, my reality. You ever been there? Huh? You see something and it does not outpicture that way. Now here I am in my present moment with a choice to make. Do I revert to the same behaviors that I have had in the past with him, which I will be quite frank with you, did not yield me the results that I preferred? Okay. Or do I, right now in the present moment, remember the marriage I would like to have, the relationship that I would like to have, the way I would like to show up with him regardless of how he is being? Are you with me? That's my present moment, my present reality right here. So here I am, and he says this, and here's what came out of my mouth. How would you like me to fold them? And then he told me. And every day since, in our marriage, when I have folded his underwear, I have folded it the way that he prefers. Now, if you ask my husband about this event, here is what he will say to you. Event? What event? I don't remember any event. I don't have a clue. What are you talking about? And I want you to be really clear with why he doesn't remember the event. Because I didn't turn it into one. I remembered my truth. And I brought my truth into that moment. And because I remembered who I was in that moment, I was able to avoid the mistakes of the past and move in the direction that I wanted to go. Are you with me? Okay. Now, I shared that story at the first talk this morning, and there were people there who said, "Wow, you were able to do that?" Well, yeah, that one moment I was. Okay? Because I have my moments too, just like we all do. But folks, this is the key for every single one of us in this room. This is the key of how we bring our truth into our life, no matter what it is that we are dealing with. As during this holiday season, people do have memories of the past. And unfortunately, some of those memories are not pleasant. You ground yourself right here with your truth. and you remember that truth as you think of events gone by. And you heal those memories so that in this present moment, you can create a different way of being with those very same people who in years gone by may have pushed your buttons beyond belief. Okay, you be who you are. So who are you? Right now, right here, in this chair that you are sitting in, I'm going to invite you to say 3 words. I want you to say, I am, and then fill in the blank with some truth about yourself. Do you all know what you need to do here? Okay, on the count of 3, we're going to do this. 1, 2, 3. I am truth. And I want you to let that be, and I want you to let that fill your heart and your mind. And I'm going to invite you to say it again. Here we go. I am truth. Let that sit, let that move, let that fill your body, let that fill your heart, let that fill your mind. And one more time, just for good measure. I am truth. And so it is, my friends, that you have just given yourself a wonderful gift. May you enjoy it this holiday season. God bless you.